comes back the next day, and he says, well, Mr. President, check it out. We have about a dozen or so folks left over from Vietnam who know how to do this stuff, and they in turn are in contact with all kinds of contractors. We don't really have any interrogation capability in the CIA. Closest we come is interviewing, security interviews, lie detector tests, and that kind of thing. So, yeah, sure, we can do it. But, Mr. President, I don't know how to say this, but technically, well, they won't do it unless you sign this. Let me just be very blunt. This is called a finding, and they need your signature on this so that, if it becomes known what's happened, then they'll be protected. So I'll push looks at this thing. Hey, Alberto! Get Gonzalez in here. Gonzalez. Yes, Mr. President. Al, can I sign this thing? Mr. President, may I have a day to check this out? Sure. What does Al do? Hi, Dave. David Addington, right across the hall. Office of the Vice President of the United States. Supreme lawyer. Summa cum laude graduate, I'm sorry to say, from Georgetown University. Al. Dave, can the President sign this? Dave. Al, you came to the right place. I had this 4-page memo all prepared, showing how the President can just exempt Al-Qaeda and Taliban detainees for the Geneva Conventions. And so we ought to wait a day for a decent intro, but you ought to give it to him tomorrow, and he'll see, he'll see what he can do. And sure enough, they prepared a memo for the President dated the 25th of February, 25th of January 2001, which said, Mr. President, you can simply determine that Geneva doesn't apply to these two categories of people. And, well, we do have to remind you, Mr. President, that there's not only international law against this, but there's the War Crimes Act of 1996, passed by a predominantly Republican legislature, which actually has very extreme penalties, including the death penalty for the fact that the eventuality that a prisoner or detainee would die while in your custody. But we think, and this lawyerly language really gets me, we think if you determine this, then that will create a solid basis whereby you can escape future prosecution should a special prosecutor or a special counsel be designated to pursue you for war crimes. It's in the memo. The memo's been released. It's on the web. That sound like mafia lawyers did? Well, that's what they were. 13 days later, the President issued his 2-page memorandum, I have a copy of it right here, which says, don't apply Geneva to Al-Qaeda or Taliban detainees. You pretty much do what you want. That was the authorization. That is the smoking gun. That appears over the signature, 1.5 inches high, in felt tip pen, George W. Bush, February 7, 2002. That's the smoking gun. Everything comes down from that, including Rumsfeld's abuses and everything else, okay? Now, why isn't this better known? Well, it's getting better known. But there have been various people with, their own access to crime, and I say that charitably. Lawyers I hope there comes some lawyers here. Lawyers are appalled at the corruption of their profession. John Yoo, Bradbury, Jay Bybee, now a federal judge. I mean, they're up in arms, and they want to get these guys. They want to get John Yoo kicked out of his teaching profession. And I'm saying, hey, as I understand the role of lawyers, they give counsel, they give advice, and if this guy is the decider, as our Constitution pretty much says, in some circumstances at least, well, why don't you go after him? You got this. sorting out papers back there, but I didn't do quite a good enough job. But this is it, folks. 2 pages addressed to the eight usual suspects. Okay, were they Vice President, Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, head of the CIA, the Assistant to the President for National Security Affairs, the White House Chief of Staff. Did I say the Secretary of State and Secretary of Defense? Well, there are 8 of them here. I think I covered them all. Attorney General. Okay, so they all got this memo. Yeah. Now, Colin Powell had, in his own feeble kind of way, tried to say, you know, if you do this, this will make the discipline of the U.S. Army, to which I owe so much, it will make it a dead letter. There's no telling what will happen, and it will also introduce ambiguities into the status of this or that detainee. And so he had his lawyer, William Taft IV, talk to the White House lawyer, Alberto Gonzalez, who talked to David Addington. Addington said, don't worry about Powell, you know, don't worry about Powell at all. Powell gets this, and like Brer Rabbit, he don't say nothing, right? Or is it Brer Fox? No, Brer Fox, I guess, yeah, you don't say nothing. So we have all these people involved, and we know that right after this, they met regularly in the White House to plan which kinds of torture techniques should be applied to which kinds of, quote, high-level, end quote, detainees. That's as bad as it got. Now, I would like to move along here because I can talk about this kind of thing forever, and some of this stuff you already know. But George Tenet was aware that, you know, this was pretty tight. Here, let me circulate this because this is, that's the smoking gun, okay? As for the CIA, George Tenet was quite aware of the predicament that this could cause him. And, you know, he's not the brightest star in the constellation. He heard that he'd make $5 million by writing a book. So he put all kinds of self-incriminating information in the book. One piece of evidence is that he perjured himself, testified before the 9/11 Commission. How do we find that out? Well, first of all, we find that in the book, and then we look in the White House PR reports, and we find out that he was in Crawford twice during the month of August 2001, whereas he swore an oath before the 9/11 Commission that he didn't talk to the president at all during that entire month. So that's sort of a little side thing. But here's George Tenet in his memoir. It's called At the Center of the Storm. He notes that the CIA needed, quote, the right authorities and a policy determination from the president. Quote, sure, it was a risky proposition. When you looked at it from a policymaker's point of view, we were asking for, and we would be given, as many authorities as the CIA ever had. Things could blow up. People, me among them, could end up spending some of the worst days of our lives justifying before congressional overseers our new freedom to act. Punkt. End quote. Well, he was thinking only of the invertebrate congressional overseers with whom he had become thoroughly familiar, and he thought that they'd never raise any hackles. He never anticipated that there might be an honest attorney general come on the scene and pursue him and all the people that he ordered to torture for their misdeeds. Now, I have nothing personal against George Tenet. You know, I'm really sorry that it looks like he may be facing some of his worst days. But I'm kind of a stickler on justice and a stickler on how we hold people accountable. And I think that what Attorney General Holder has started to do in broadening the investigation has a reasonable chance of broadening out to include people like Tenet, people like Cheney, and people like George W. Bush himself. Why do I say that? I say that because it was a surprise to me that Holder would go back on the let's not look at the past, let's look at the future sort of dictum that the president and Holder were both saying. But he did do that. And when did he do that? He did that after he read those 4 memos that I asked you all to